Hey, 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 what's going on, guys? What's up? What's up? It's your chief visionary, Natasha Davis. How are you? Listen, happy Thursday. What's up? How was your week? How was your week? Did you have a good week? I had a really good week. It was busy, but I had a really good week so far. And I am looking forward I have a full day today, actually, which is interesting, but it's a good thing. What's going on with you? Holla at your girl. Let me know that you can hear me. You can see me. Give me a shout out in the chat room. What's going on? Welcome. Come on in. It's a day in the life of business. This is the real biz life conversations. These are the things that we talk about. We get to go into the business lab, talk about these important things, get to lift the lid off of our thinking. So listen, don't sit here and be stingy. Tell someone to come hang out. They don't want to be tardy for this party, right? What's up? Come hang out with your chief visionary. Tell them, tag them, text them, call them, message them, tell them, listen, I'm live. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get these golden nuggets, right? So listen, this particular live show, guys, is where we get to dissect the good, the bad, and the strategy around business, right? This is a no judgment zone, right? And this is where I get to transfer knowledge to you so that you can lift the lid off your thinking and explore the greater possibilities for what? For growth and improvement. And so this is where we get to hang out, go and tell a fellow business owner to come and check it out, because we're going to talk about something super, super sexy, not sexy today, right? So let's jump into my business lab. Let's go into the lab. We are focused on doing what? I want to normalize and simplify strategic planning. Super passionate about that. Love being able to uncomplicate things make sense, right? We call it make it make sense, right? And so as we go into this business lab, I want you to think about some of the things that you could be doing to grow your company or to improve your company, right? I have been blessed to be able to support companies and CEOs, business owners, whether they have just crossed the six-figure mark, or they started making multiple six figures and they're like, hey, I need to get my ducks in a row. And I'm also blessed to have clients that they're grossing $20 million in revenue, and they're doing the same thing. How do we grow? How do we improve? How do we get our ducks in a row? We need to really simplify our strategic planning, not only from planning it, but also from implementing it, right? So what are we talking about today? Today, we're going to talk about super sexy, but not sexy board of directors versus a board of advisors, right? When do you need it? Which one do you need? That's important, right? How to develop one if you don't have one, or if you have one and it's become like a social party and has no value being added, no added value, it's time to maybe start over, right? So we're going to talk about those things today. So first and foremost, let's be clear. These are two different things. You got a board of advisors and a board of directors. All right. So make sure I know that you can hear me, right? Make sure you hit me up in that chat room. Just say, yep, I got you. I can hear you, chief. I can hear you, chief. Right. So check this out. You got a board of directors and a board of advisors, right? Here's one of the big differences in each. A board of directors have a fiduciary duty to the company, right? So board of directors have a fiduciary responsibility, meaning they're financially responsible. They have a duty of loyalty, right? They have a duty of do no harm, right? All these good things, a duty of care, a duty of just being fully invested in the success of the company. So board of directors are a lot more formalized, and also they have a higher duty. The other thing that you want to know about a board of directors is that Typically, nonprofits have a board of directors because it's required, okay? And then also corporations have board of directors because it's required. It is a requirement that there is a board of directors. And even the owner, which at that point is called the shareholder, the owner can be on the board as well, but you do have a board of directors, and then you kind of go down the line with officers and go from there, okay? So nonprofits, corporations, you need a board of directors. It's not really optional. It's somewhat of a requirement, right? And also for the structure of the organization. So here's the other thing now. Board of advisors. Board of advisors. Board of advisors are more, they don't have a fiduciary responsibility. They do not have that duty. They are not required to function in day-to-day operations or anything of that nature. A board of advisors can be a little less formal than what a board of directors would be. Okay, so that's also another important distinction. The board of advisors are more so like, how do I guide you to make the best decision to grow the company as well, right? So board of directors is more formal. It's legally binding responsibilities. The board of directors, there is a fiduciary responsibility, a duty of care, a duty of loyalty. You cannot directly compete with the company, especially when you're a board of directors. As well, the board of directors are accountable for the success and the failure of the company. There's accountability there, right? You cannot escape that. When we talk about board of advisors, it is less formalized. It can be formal or informal, actually. And the board of advisors basically are a selection as opposed to an election. Board of directors are elected into their position. Board of advisors are selected. Like, hey, I like you, come on over. It's a selection process. Let me bring you over, right? So what are some of the things you want to look at with the board of advisors? Definitely the board of advisors are looking at the CEO and reflecting back what the CEO needs and helping to guide them, helping them to make better decisions. More like it's more like, again, an advisory position, right? Another really important thing I'd like to say here is your board of advisors, they are not your sales team. Okay. Also, board of advisors are not investors and they're not employees. They do not work in the company and manage day-to-day operations. They do not do that. And so I have come across companies who misunderstand the true position of a board of advisor. That's where you're gonna, see LLCs, partnerships. You can have board of advisors there. And then I've also seen where board of directors are, they're not being held accountable to their fiduciary responsibility. All right. So it becomes a fine line. So the benefit of having board of advisors, especially when it's not a requirement, is basically to provide the owner, right, the managing member, the owner, guidance and insight, right? It helps to get ideas. It helps them to improve the way that they're managing their daily operations. They can also provide solutions to problems, right? Your board of advisors helps you to prevent yourself as an owner from being stuck in your own way, being rigid to hearing constructive criticism. Also, it helps you to hear another perspective, to hear another voice. When you are a business owner and you isolate in your own head, it's like, who's talking here? Like, what are we doing? Like, at some point, it's like, who tells you that's not a good idea? Or who challenges your status quo thinking? Or better yet, who challenges your mediocre thinking? When you have advisors whom you're accountable to, because board of advisors do give you some kind of accountability. Listen, you tell me what's going on, right? You are more apt to excel, right? More apt to excel. Many of you who know my story know the first 4 years in business was pure hell because I isolated. I was by myself. I was figuring it out myself. I figured, whoa, how bad this could be, right? Let's just do some things. And it was hell because I was in my own head. And then I got to this stagnant place and there was no growth. It was like, whoa, This is painful. Okay, so I want you to embrace the idea of welcoming a board of advisors. Even though you don't require one, it is in your best interest to have one. All right, so how do you like create a board? How do you select a board? Most importantly, let me tell you this: you need to get a board and build that board from a strategic standpoint. You need to build a board with a strategic standpoint, looking from a strategic eye. Here she goes again, Miss Strategy. There she goes, talking about strategy again. Absolutely, I'm talking about strategy because we are normalizing and simplifying strategic planning and simplifying implementation of strategy. This is the key thing, okay? So first and foremost, let me share with you, it depends on the type of company that you are. Are you a nonprofit? Are you a corporation? Are you a partnership? Are you an LLC? You know, the type of board and the structure of the board, the formalities of the board, it really does depend on the type of entity structure that you are. If you're a corporation, you're going to have bylaws. If you're an LLC, you're going to have operating agreements. This is going to help to develop, this is how this company operates, right? So creating a board, first of all, and the structure of it does depend on the type of company structure you are. You know, what are you? That's the first place that you need to start, right? The next thing is you have to be clear about the terms and the needs for each board member. Don't just get 20 people because they love you so much and they're willing to give in. You just want to announce, I got this great board and I got 20 people on the board. I can promise you, if you are not a massive organization, even if you are, there is not a lot of progress going to happen. You're going to have like this big social party, and half, most, if not all of the board, maybe 2 people might be doing anything. So I'm telling you now, your goal is to 2, 3, cap it at 4. If you have, obviously as an LLC, you'll have the voting authority as well. If you're the owner in a corporation, the shareholder, you'll have the ownership or the voting majority. But you know, you're talking about 3 to 4, you know, 5 to 6. Just keep it condensed. All right. Don't get crazy because you will have a very unproductive board. They will cost you more than they'll make you. I'll tell you that. So just be careful with that. But you want to have clear terms around the role of the board. What do I need the board to do? How often are we going to meet in term, and also how long will the meeting be? An hour? Will it be 45 minutes? Are we going to meet once a quarter for 2 hours or once a quarter for an hour? Am I going to meet from an board of advisors standpoint? Am I going to meet you one-on-one for 1 hour a month or 1 hour a quarter? Just kind of, you know, clear up the structure of that. Here's the other thing. You need to look at the capacity of the company in terms of compensation for the board. All right, let's talk about some things here. When you have a board of advisors, typically there isn't a formal compensation, right? Board of directors from like a corporation standpoint, there is a salary that is provided there as well. In a nonprofit, it may not be a salary, but it may possibly be shares within that corporation, especially if it's a large nonprofit. If it's not a large nonprofit, if it's more like a startup, it may be an unpaid position. Board of advisors, the same thing. It may be unpaid, but it also may be paid in the form of advisory shares of about 2%. It could also be percentage of profits at the end of the year as well. Like I said, it could be unpaid. It all depends. It really all depends on the structure and the capacity of the organization. What can the company actually support, right? So here's the next thing I want you to look at. Here's a big red flag. If you reach out to someone to be on your board of advisors and you say, hey, you know, and I'm going to tell you the 4 things that you're going to look at when you're selecting a board member, especially for a board of advisors, right? And if you reach out to a board of advisor to say, hey, someone to be on your board, and the first thing they're like, hey, I want about 10 or 20% equity in your company, you need to stop, pump the brakes, hold up, wait a minute, let's put a conversation in it, right? I told y'all I'm going to drop a rap video today. All right, so check it out. Here is what I try to tell you. A board of advisors, they are not investors. If somebody wants to be an investor, that is a different conversation. That is a different structure. That is different paperwork. Okay. A board of advisors, if you're going to give advisory shares, you're looking about maybe 2%. You're looking about percentage on profits, not revenue, profits, right? And so be very careful if you reach out to someone and the first thing they come out is like, sure, I'll be on your board for 10, 20% equity in your business. Don't give away 20% of your business to get a board of advisor. That's kind of crazy. I'll just leave it there. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. All right. So here's what I want to say to you. So no matter which one you take, a board of directors or a board of advisors, either way, there's some level of responsibility for the success and the failure of the company. Board of directors is fiduciary. There's a legally binding responsibility. Board of advisors is not as formal, right? However, if you have a board and your company is failing and you're losing money and you're on the brink of closing, it is time to get a new board. They are not serving you well. It's time to release them to go find their greater destiny. Okay. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Either way, whether you pay them or you do not pay them, whether you give shares or equity, it doesn't matter. The success and the failure is on the responsibility from the support of the board. If you have a board and your company is failing, you're losing money, you're not making money, you need to get a new board. They're not helping you. All right. How in the world do you select a board? Let me give it to you. I want you to scan to select a board. Okay. I want you to scan. What do I mean by that? I'm going to give it to you. These are the 4 things that you should be looking at when you are looking to select a board. Aside from having diversity of experience and knowledge and all that stuff, you need to make sure you have clear rules and processes and procedures. You need to make sure it's clear about the expectations of their participation. It's not okay to have someone that's on the board, but they never show up, they never participate. It's a waste of time. Time to get a new board member, a whole new board altogether. Clean house, start all over. Always remember, you're the owner. You're the shareholder. You're the owner. You're the shareholder, right? So you are the one that has to make sure that your company stays up, and you have elected or selected a board member. All right. Keep that in control. And when you have your bylaws developed with your attorney and you have your operating agreement, make sure that you have some really favorable and fluid clauses and expectations around the board. Be careful with that you don't lock yourself into time, even down to how long do they serve on the board? What's the term? Who can vote them in? Who can vote them out? How do you select, elect, all that good stuff? All right. Okay, here we go. Selecting the board. You want to scan for your board. What do? You look at their skill set. What's their skill set? Their expertise. What is it they're bringing to the table? When you think of a board and you're building the board, you look at, here's what I need. These are the buckets I need to fill. This is the area of expertise, or this is what I'm lacking. This is what I'm needing. Make sure that you are looking for that member based on their skill set, their subject matter expertise. The next thing, most important is the character. Look at the character of the member that you're interested in to bring on your board. Let me tell you why. If your business has a certain feel to it, especially a feel good feeling to it, and you bring someone on the board and you publicly mention and announce that they're on your board, and these people have a bad character and they're not really nice people, this will bring down your company and your brand. It's not going to do anything to them because the market already knows that they cray-cray, right? It's not going to do anything to them. They're going to look at you like, are you nuts? Why would this person's on your board? Oh my gosh, you're never going to be the same. They will detract, right? They will detract people from you. It's like repel, right? It's not going to attract. You got a board on it. The goal is to attract good business, attract good energy. So look at the character of the member. Here's the next thing. I want you to look at availability on 2 ends of the spectrum. How much you need from them and how much can they give. It serves you no purpose for a board member to never be able to attend a board meeting, never be able to take your phone call. You can't even grab a cocktail or coffee with them because they're never available. And it's a waste of energy just to have them on a list. Okay. So you want to look at availability. The next thing you look at, N network. What is their network? The network has to be valuable enough to them, but also reachable to you. If you have a board member who is tight-lipped, and I mean, they put the padlock with a combination code. You remember back in the day where we had the codes that we put on our locker, you had to spin it to 0 and then you had to dial up that thing. If you have 3 different locks on their network, I'm telling you right now, don't even put them on the board, even if they have the skill set, the character, and the availability. Because when you need something to advance your company, if they are not willing, if they refuse to open up their Rolodex and say, okay, hey, I am proudly on the board of this company. I represent this company. Here is what our company needs. I am asking you, my network, to come and support. Here's what I need from you. Do I need space? Do I need money? Do I need sponsorship? What do I need? Your board members are to be your walking billboards. They're your advocate for your organization. Okay. So if you're not scanning for your board, you're going to have problems. I want you to scan skill set, character, availability, and the network. What are we looking for? What do we need? That's how you scan to build a board. Okay. Here's a couple more important things as well. Be consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. If you have monthly meetings, maintain the monthly. If you have quarterly meetings, maintain the quarterly. On a minimum, you should be getting together at least once a year just to really flesh things out and prepare for the next move. Okay. You want board members that have financial expertise, legal expertise, operational expertise, sales expertise. Really look at that. If you specialize in a particular industry, like say for industry, say you're like a manufacturer, then you should have a manufacturing specialist, an expert, a subject matter expert on the board. Say you're doing international business, you should have someone on the board that understands and is a subject matter expert as it relates to international business. Okay. So when you're looking at building your board, I want you to look at, am I a company structure and I need a board of directors, or do I need a board of advisors? And then if you're building your board, I want you to scan to select those board members, okay? And if you have a board right now that's not serving you, it's time to start trimming some fat, right? You need to replace a board member, or you need to scratch the whole board and get started all over again. All right. Love, love, love it. I hope this was amazing for you. You got these golden nuggets. Did you catch these golden nuggets? All right, listen, if you are on the replay team, put hashtag replay team in the chat room so I can show you some love. And if you think someone else needs to hear about this, tag them in the post, share the link with them, and let them know that this is the good stuff that they missed. We are here every Thursday. I thank you so much for joining me. I'm your Chief Visionary, Natasha Davis. Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, if you need your Chief Visionary as a strategist for training or as a speaker at your conference, don't hesitate to book a power chat with me. You can go ahead and go to the link that you see on the website, on the screen here. You can go there to book a power chat with me, and we can get together and talk about some of those good things. Okay. So remember, board of directors versus board of advisors. Don't forget, we are normalizing and simplifying strategic planning. I am your Chief Visionary, Natasha Davis. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. One love, one heart, blessings upon blessings. Okay.